and it's kind of poignant the way I support this, because I was a counselor at Junction City High School for 6 years. I retired a year and a half ago. Fort Riley was in our area. My wife was a school secretary at Spring Valley Elementary. Both of us every day did not deal with codes and those kinds of things. We dealt with real-life people having real-life problems who defended this country so that we can be here this evening enjoying this freedom. And I will end with this. My wife and I just talked about it. It's kind of tough. We moved out on Friday, December 20th, and we had to wait on 21st, Friday, whatever day that was. My wife still had to work, and I had some friends come over and they helped us load our truck out. And I got to thinking about this flag and what the things surrounding it. And my wife came home from work at 4 o'clock, and we had loaded the truck, and we were going to clean the apartment and all that. And I could tell she was very disturbed. She had just gotten word an hour before she got home that in that helicopter crash in Afghanistan with the Fort Riley Air Unit, 7 members killed. You might have heard that. One of the teacher's husband was in that unit. Fortunately, he was not on that copter. Unfortunately, a first-grade little boy's daddy was. Now, when we look at that grand old flag, I don't know much about codes and feet and all of that. The only thing I know is this little first-grade boy gave up his daddy for the rest of his life so that we can be free. That's what that flag represents to me. And 4 days before Christmas, it becomes kind of emotional. But when you work in that area for 6-8 years, you understand what that flag means to people. And I would just encourage and recommend or request respectfully that you give strong consideration to complying with Perkins' request. I thank you for your time and giving me this opportunity to speak. God bless you, gentlemen and lady, and God bless your work. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anybody else? Then I ask for...
Can I add one last point?
Sure.
Appreciate it.
I think a lot of times, if I'm sitting in your shoes or your shoes, the slippery slope is something that I'm kind of thinking about with making variance requests or granting variance requests. In this situation, it's probably not as big of a concern, but I will tell you, the cost and time and effort to put up a flagpole is something that we've never, when we've gone into communities and asked for a variance and they've approved it, we've not seen a bunch of other businesses do that necessarily. And I understand that some zoning ordinances, I understand what the purpose of those are, and maybe you don't necessarily want 65, 70-foot flags out in a given area flying, because it's just a lot. It's too much. But from my perspective, and I'm probably biased, but I've just not seen that slippery slope transpire. They are fairly costly. We probably on average spend around $1,500 a year to maintain the flags, because they're very expensive and you have to repair them. I'm not tooting our own horn. I'm just saying that in and of itself, not a lot of businesses are going to want to take on that extra thing. So that's all. Thanks.
Matt, before you sit back down,
Yes.
Could I ask you a couple questions?
Sure. Yep.
Now, did I hear you say that your flagpole height in Independence is 50 feet?
70 feet.
It's 70 feet? Okay.
Yeah, their limit is 25 feet. The city recommended 50, We asked for 70, and 70 was approved.
Okay. So what is the difference in the size of the flag that you would fly at a 45-foot flagpole height?
You know, I would have to, I'm sorry, I don't know the, you know, for each flagpole height, there's a recommended flag size. It would be a considerably smaller flag than the 20 by 30, which is 600 square feet. It's actually, as far as I know, it's the largest manufactured flag, U.S. flag in the country. So I don't have a good answer for your question, but I know they do make one that's proportional to a 45-foot flagpole, and I don't know the dimensions on it. I'm sorry.
Actually, I've got a question for you, Herb. You know, really, we don't want to get into the flagpole compared to the flag size, because but you go by you abide by the flag code, don't you?
Well,
Workers will abide by the flag code.
I mean, I think we're asking for a variance on the flag code.
No, I mean the flag code is the United States set up. The flag code.
Correct. In terms of handling
Yes.
and retiring them, you know, when we open, we'll have potentially some of these gentlemen out, or a Boy Scout, you know, we'll have some people out to help us do a flag ceremony, and then our staff is trained on how to handle it properly. They're always retired with care. So yeah, we take that serious. I mean, when they start to get wear and tear on them, we replace them or have them repaired, and we always handle them properly.
Now, one other question, and I know maybe you can't answer this, but when they're asked to bring the flag to half-staff, you can't bring that flag to half-staff, can you?
We can.
You can?
Yes. Yeah, we do. We get alerts, email alerts from, Perkins emails us actually, but then we also have state
Okay.
email alerts that let us know when, you know, half-staff is required.
All right.
Anyone else?
I don't believe so.
Okay, thanks.
One more.
Oh, yes, sir.
I'm Clint Barney, sorry. I get real emotional about this stuff. I'm an NCO. I was an NCO, 8 years, veteran, United States Army. Flag code, it's 1/4 of the height of the pole the flag has to be.
Yeah.
Just to point out some things that you might not know about the American flag, it's a symbol of freedom. It's a symbol of let me start over. The Pledge of Allegiance, when I was a kid, I got into the ritual of just saying the Pledge of Allegiance out of everything, every day when we woke up, or every started the school. I'm Bibling, sorry. Now, when we get older, it's a symbol of freedom, enterprise, like the guy said. I would recommend giving the variance of 70 foot. It would bring enterprise on people looking forward on I-35. It says, hey, look, hey, there's a great place to eat, you know, bringing people into Gardner. It's a big thing in the city council right now. How can we get people into Gardner? Just my peace of mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to discuss this? Being that there's nobody else, then I would like to close this open session. Anybody? I'll make a motion. Somebody make a motion?
So moved.
And second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. It's carried. Okay, so now we're to discuss this amongst ourselves. Mike, do you have anything to add to this?